player's perspective, a recent player's perspective.
Has Paul been cleared to do any basketball stuff yet?
What do you consider basketball stuff?
Well, it's an open-ended question. How about you just tell me what he's cleared to do?
He can shoot.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing he's really doing on the court is, spot shooting, post moves, stuff like that, but no contact.
Just like him on a coach or something, or by himself.
Yeah, well, there might be a coach putting a hand up, but yeah, it's very, very minimal on the court.
Sorry, I never asked this already, but how do you see Curry fitting in the Mavs? And obviously, he was here before.
I think it's a great system for him. He had a really good year for us last year. I think Rick does a nice job of taking advantage of shooters. He has a lot of sets. I think the familiarity that Seth has playing for Rick and in the system will lend itself. And then you throw him out there with a unique playmaking forward, so he can play off the ball and get his shots that way. So I think it's a really good fit.
Carlisle said that from the time you started working with him, you knew you were going to be at What did you take or what did you learn from getting a coach with a guy like Rick Carlisle?
Probably the main thing is that I was with George Karl for a long time and Rick, and they're very different in their approach to the game. They're both very passionate about the game, but their approach to coaching is very different. And to me, to be able to see a different way of communicating or running an offense or running your defense or film session or whatever, it gave me just a new perspective, and I think it affected how I approach preparation for my team, for myself, the dynamics with my coaching staff, just a whole host of things.
Terry, what sort of problems does the combination of Luka and Porzingis present to people?
They're probably two of the more unique players in the league. Doncic is however tall he is, playing point forward, he can score, he can pass, he can post up. So that's a challenge. And then with shooters around, and then Porzingis at 7'3" can play inside and outside and block shots, and he's very athletic. So those two guys are so unique at their positions, what they can do, and then whatever players you put around them, I think they have the ability to make the teammates around them even better.
So the Mavs play shooters at all 5 positions. How does that impact your defense with that much score space?
It's the way the league's going. We're giving up a lot of threes right now. The whole league's giving up a lot of threes. It's challenging to keep the ball out of the paint. Teams are shooting threes quicker, playing up the court, so makes it tough on everybody. The NBA game has opened up. Floor's open with shooters. It opens up driving lanes, so it's everybody faces the same challenge.
Are you a fan of that in general?
I think it's good basketball. I've always been a fan of skill in the NBA. I think shooting is a skill. Being able to dribble, pass, and shoot that's what basketball is. And I think when you open up the court, play at a pace, shooting, it accentuates all those skills, and I think it's good for the game.
It's the first week, obviously, but is it that much more noticeable from last year? Like, is it that much more of a...
I don't know. I mean, it hasn't even been a week yet, but it seems like it.
Yeah.
But from our perspective, we've been giving up a bunch, so maybe it seems like it.
Back in 2011, when you guys did a lot of improv, called a lot of plays in the playoffs. When you look at today's NBA, what do you think that had an effect?
I think it was kind of, the game has evolved. I don't know how much of an impact we had on it that year, but we had the luxury of having a very veteran-laden team who knew how to play basketball, and one of the best point guards in the history of the game to kind of direct things. So we were fortunate in those situations, but I do think the game has opened up where there is more freedom to make basketball plays rather than slow it down and run sets. And you compare the game now to what it was in the 90s with the slower possessions and the ball being on one side of the floor. It's just like I said, I don't know how much 2011 impacted that, but I think it was part of the evolution.
Does the title chase feel as wide open as we're making it out to be in the media from your seat?
I think it's wide open. You look at particularly in the West, you look at how many teams, if you go through, and how many teams will be disappointed if they don't get to the conference finals. You could choose a number, and it's so the West is, I think, up for grabs. It's tough, but it's up for grabs. The East is a little different, but it's. I think there are plenty of teams out there that can win a championship.
What did you teach Curry on the defensive end? His defense seems to be much better now than it was. Seth Curry.
Oh, Seth Curry. Nothing. He did it all on himself.
No, his defense seems to be better than it was.
You know, his defensive numbers are actually really good for us. I think he's a smart player. I think if you're a smart player, you can be a good defender. You can be in the right spots. You can talk. You can have instincts. I think the experience. You know, he's gotten older. You know, so I think that experience lends itself to being a better defender as well.